Hello guys, AJ here. We need to talk about a certain individual. I guess you could call him a certain Scottish guy, decently famous, called David Hume. Like smoke. In Spanish, it sounds more, it's a pun, forget about it. We're gonna talk about what this guy says, his main points, maybe a couple of critiques. But the main focus of this video is going to be like learning what the guy says specifically, So let's start with that. David Hume. This guy, 17th century philosopher. The main points behind what this guy says is basically that he talks about how experience is the only valid source of true knowledge. Let me elaborate on that a bit further. Like, the main way to gain knowledge that you know is 100% true is through the senses and through impressions, which are like what you can perceive of an object. Like, for example, if I have, I don't know, this box, like this little box of headphones, the impressions that I'm getting is probably like its touch, which you guys can't feel through the screen, but whatever. What I can see, like the color, the metallic glow, all of those are impressions of this little box right here. And then I can get, from analyzing its contents, I can get an idea of what it does, because what Hume calls ideas are actually the derivations of impressions. And ideas and impressions are connected through we connect ideas and impressions, like in our brains. Like, that's how we work. So that's his main point on one part. Another thing that Hume is pretty famous for is his critique of causal. I'm not sure how the fuck you say it, but I don't give a shit. Of like the connection of one thing causes another. Like, for example, take two billiard balls. Okay, when you push one and it just bumps into the other, and the other one flies away, like, you know what I mean. You could say that there's what ball A caused ball B to move, because you see one impact the other and the other one moving away, right? But Hume says, no, that's not how this works. What Hume defends is that he goes back to his theory of like impressions. So first he says, well, you have the impression of ball A moving, and then you have the impression of ball B moving, and like there's nothing in between. There's no impression of the movement of ball A causing the movement of ball B. And that is how he explains that there's no causality doesn't really exist, because that causal relation is supposed by you in your brain, right? Like, it is formed out of habit. You've seen it happen so many times that your brain just assumes that it's going to happen like that again. For example, let's say you walk on the same street every day. You don't think that the floor is just going to cave at any point. But the floor can cave. You don't have the certainty that it's not going to cave. Like, it could cave, but you don't think it's going to cave, because A, you don't have the impression of it caving yet, and B, because your brain has assumed that the floor is just not going to disappear. You're not going to sink through the floor because you've walked so many times over that. Your brain just assumes that that's not going to happen. And that, right there, fellas, is Hume's critique of causal relationships. Thank you very much for learning with me today. I enjoyed learning with you. I stole that from flipping physics. Credits to that guy. Pretty goated, by the way.